Okay. Actually saw Hamilton the weekend of NashCon.
I saw it in New York, and I was there with my partner and her mom, and I was like, it seems kind of weird, but maybe weird enough to be good. It's like kind of a hip hop like take on the founding fathers. I don't know, maybe it'll be way too American, but it might be really good. And my mother-in-law was like, "That's gonna be terrible. We shouldn't see that." And my partner and I convinced her that we should see it. And she still wasn't totally sold on it, but we both totally loved it. So
It was great.
of course it was, but no one knew that when we went to see it. It was yeah, it was really good. So I felt really hipstery. Like I got to be in there kind of before everyone else knew it was a thing.
Hipstery.
I
Uh,
didn't know it was a thing until like right now.
oh yeah, Hamilton is great. If you haven't seen it, it's totally worth checking out. And even if you don't have access to like Broadway musicals, the soundtrack is fantastic. It's Lin-Manuel who did the music for Moana and number of other things. He was incredibly talented and made this really awesome musical about a relatively unknown American founding father who actually has a pretty amazing story.
Pretty cool. I'm gonna Google it here in a second.
I feel like kind of like I'm mansplaining just because I feel like these things are very known in the circles that I've traveled in, but cut me off if I am.
No, I
all
mean,
over
all
the
I can
place.
eat. I never even heard of it.
It's excellent.
Hamile? No,
Yeah,
T-O-N.
well, Hamilton, yeah, like the founding father. Uh,
Like the guy on the $10 bill.
right. Now, there was some delightful controversy immediately following that because everyone was like, they were planning to change what was on the $10 bill. And timing was not ideal because suddenly everyone was a fan of the least known and least interesting American founding father. So in the original Broadway production, Lin-Manuel plays the lead. He plays Hamilton, and there's some great music in it. But he was invited to the White House about, it's almost a decade ago now. No, not quite that much. To perform some music from his, at the time, Tony Award-winning musical before Hamilton was a thing. And he previewed the first kind of working draft of a song there. I feel like you've got to be pretty confident in your own personal genius to be invited to perform at the White House and do like I'm not sure if this is going to be good yet, but this is something I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think it's cool. Obviously, as a fan of both Star Wars and the musical Hamilton, I felt like it was a good show to invest in.
Yes.
I didn't actually realize I was wearing it today, where it's fairly apt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so this is new. Newish.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah,
Last 10 years. Probably last 4 years.
Yeah, my sense of time is not great, but I feel like it is very recent.
Legionnaires came into the chat channel and he said, "Interesting way to start that, Tim. Cut me off if this comes off as mansplaining."
Well, I mean, it's a thing, right? Like it's I consider myself a fairly educated person, but I know it's really easy to fall into the trap of just being like, "Well, didn't you know?" And sometimes you can be an asshole doing that.
You
I
you
get
ready for lock and load?
that way to a whole bunch of 18-year-olds.
Hmm.
Well, didn't you know electrons orbit the nucleus?
Let me teacher explain that.
Yeah.
Tim, you ready for lock and load?
I got a weird couple of weeks. I got a funeral for my dad this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm flying out tomorrow morning, and I'm there with my sister and spending time with family, and then I'm going to Vancouver and driving down with people from Vancouver to lock and load. So it's like it's kind of a break because then I come back and have to do another funeral in a different city, with a whole different like circle of people. So my experience right now is, man, there's estate arrangements and there's invitations, there's people to talk to and eulogies to write and all those things. And I guess in the middle, I get to play some fucking trolls. Like that's so like lock and load is way less of a thing that I'm preparing for right now than it normally would be. So I'm probably just gonna scrub out. Here's hoping I don't, though. If you guys see me on a stream, wish me luck.
Yeah, I got. While you're doing lock and load, I'm doing M3 to try to get another spot. So I got another spot coming up for a qualifier. So we'll be trying for that one.
I was up for dinner with a bunch of the folks at Rochester, and Bubba was very confident that you would earn your slot soon. He was like, I was like, Gonzo's going all these points about. He's like, it doesn't matter how many points he gets. He's going to qualify soon. And I was like, really? That's really nice of you to say, Bubba. And he's like, odds are nice things. I'm just telling the truth.
Well, I got this one, and I know what my competition is going into it. And that's going to be the issue. Because I know who's all going. I got to turn on my ceiling fan. We'll be right back. Let's go ahead and go with everybody gets 6, since it was kind of a short little type thing we did last week. And y'all can go and talk about what you're going to do while I turn on my ceiling fan.
Excellent. With these 6 awarded experience points, I will be banking it. Sorry, that's really uninteresting.
And Banky banks experience points.
It's like a Jewish thing. I don't know. Anyway.
It's okay. The internet's still gonna go wild over it anyway.
Yeah. So actually, I'm seriously considering, and you guys should talk me out of this or not. I'm seriously considering the heal/harm horsepower.
Ooh, that's actually a really good one.
Ooh.
Yeah. Most of the time, I'd probably use it to heal with, like using my intelligence. But it bases off your intellect, which is obviously something that Malokia is very, very good at. And it leans into her kind of like wanting to fix things and sort of fix people.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes the the medicine work and the attention to those sort of details, that sort of surgical mastery, like directly lined into her kind of channeling her own intellect. And then I think there's some potential there, not that it's going to come up all the time, but for the story moment of using the dark side version of that, where she's like, just reaches out with her brain and just like slams damage directly into something or someone because of a kind of intense moment. Anyway, that's what I'm leaning toward. That's my thought right now. I would, however, like to petition if the GM would accept this, to get a mentor discount on it based on all of the reading she's been doing of Turk's books.
You do get a mentor discount because all basic type things that are not really high up in the force trees, you won't get it. But you remember, you still have your Datacron.
Yes. Wait. Well, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to check the use mentor discount box on the character thing, and I'm going to select the basic power, and that is what I'm doing with my earned experience points.
Yeah, until y'all start getting into the very weird and crazy force powers, like, oh, I'm going to lift, I'm going to bring down a Star Destroyer, you're not going to get, mentor discounts for the upper, higher echelon of stuff, but definitely the basic.
Yeah, the basic one,
basic ones. So that's okay, not a big deal. I didn't hear if anybody else was going to get anything.
I'm letting the applet boot up.
Yeah, and while we're doing it, why don't everybody go give me a Destiny point roll too while we're at it. And see where everybody's force points or Destiny point we're going to get. Rocking and rolling! Again, you had to ruin it for me.
That'll be my one lucky thing all night. I'll be capable, but I won't be lucky the rest of the evening.
Yep. For anybody following us on Twitch and you're new to the area, they cannot respond to chat. I may laugh or put something in it, but we won't be saying much. That way we can keep the game going, keep it here. But you're allowed to make comments, and at the end we kind of do a quick talk through and then laugh about it. We'll be doing about 2 hours today. Last left off, y'all did a quick supply run, if you want to call it a supply run. I almost finished all of Star Wars Rebels, so I'm at the very end of it. I'm at the very end of Star Wars Rebels, so we can talk about that a little bit later. I've got a few more episodes to go. So other than that, y'all can moo-ha-ha all your deep thoughts whenever I get done. Has everybody seen all the way up to the end?
Yeah.
I have not yet.
Okay.
I know what happens because I knew that me getting my hands on it would be a little bit more difficult, but I'm up to I can talk about it and not really worry about spoiling anything.
Okay. I got a few more episodes. I'll probably watch that probably Friday morning and get that out of the way. So, yeah, make sure everybody sets all their wounds and stuff to 0. And if you have any things going on, that way everybody's all set. Y'all have just finished the supply run. We will not be doing any space combat this week. I know we talked about that as something that might happen. I'm going to try to get some good time in to read about it for next week, but no guarantee. I do want to try to do it next week because I want to get us in some space combat and kind of play around with that. But no guarantee. Deal? Deal, Gonzo.
Deal. Sounds great.
All right. Okay. So pretty much everybody back at the base, aka what we see on the screen, and y'all are just finishing up the supplies, going over what y'all found. Nothing out of the ordinary is found within the supplies. It's typical rations, food, energy packs, what y'all were looking for and what the other rebels were expecting.
What about things to tinker with mechanically?
Things to tinker with mechanically. I will let you give me a search roll to see if you can find anything that would come out of the ordinary, because I know what you're looking for.
Can Mel make a list of the things that she's interested in and ask Gans to look through the supplies for them for her?
You can ask one or the other, so one of the two
Yes.
people can search.
Okay, so she's familiar with Gan's incredible inventory taking techniques, and he has been the person who supplied them with all of the incredible camping provisions previously. So she's going to make a good list of all the things that could be useful to her or might be useful to her, and really kind of lay that out in a fairly encyclopedic way.
Mm-hmm.
Give that list to him and say, if you could look through the supplies that we managed to salvage and find anything, I'm hoping to make some upgraded armor for the group here, and it would be really helpful to have anything on this list.
And nods.
Okay.
Again, a few words.
You can look and you can do a search roll. There will be a higher difficulty because you are looking for some things that are way above the norm. Because this is a supplies run. This isn't a specific type thing. So not only is 2 purples, you get at least 1 red until we start getting into the higher ones.
So, do 2 purples and at least 1 red.
See?
Having some weird computer issues with. So that would be a perception check?
Yes.
Okay. Nope, that's a negative to streetwise, so that doesn't help. So we'll roll this. Nope, and boxes fall on me.
You go to start digging and stuff, and you like climb over and clamber down and fall off. You sit there and you're looking in there, Mel, and you're like, "Is this in there? Is this in there?" And he like holds up something to show it to you, and you're like, "No, that's not it." So when he puts it back down, he falls off some of the crates and lands down and kind of crashes. No damage. It was just more embarrassing than anything.
At this point, we've been banned from the salvage supply area by the other commanders. Mel's gonna reluctantly shake her head and see if she can still use what she's got to make something really simple and rudimentary rather than the exciting battle armor she was hoping to put together.
Frizz, what are you planning on doing right now?
Probably. I'm trying to remember what condition I was left at the end of that session. I think I was actually pretty good, so I'm probably not recovering anymore. probably practicing or something. She hasn't done anything recently productive except getting hurt or eating.
Getting hurt and eating. Where are you practicing at? Are you practicing at the top like you were that one night?
Yeah, I like it up there.
Okay. I figured, I mean, that seems to be like your area that you like to go to. Okay, you're up there practicing. Anybody need anything to do particular, or are we just going to go, let me just run with it right now?
Why don't you just run with it right now?
Yeah, but barring the ability to start working on anything, Mel is just anxious to move on to the next thing.
Okay. All right. While y'all are digging up there, Frizz, you're up there, you know, kind of flinging your saber around, throwing snacks in your face at the same time, type stuff. In your floppy hat, of course, in all of its glory. You're sitting there and, you know, you're just kind of, you know, practicing. And all of a sudden, you feel pebbles kind of roll up and hit your foot. They're decent sized.
What's that?
They're decent sized pebbles. I mean, they're not like rocks. They're just, you know, dime size.
She's gonna look around.
You haven't even noticed it, but you notice a little bitty bat creature standing next to you on the side, just kind of like looking at you and smiling.
Oh no! What was his name? Is that my buddy?
I'm gonna let you look it up.
I don't remember his name. Is it Mayak or?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah. He's like looking at you and just kind of gives you that normal smile he's got with the big old sharp teeth.
Oh, I'm gonna say hi to him. I haven't seen him in a while. Last time I ran into him was after the mission where we retrieved that old guy, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't seen him since
how he's doing.
Pretty good. Been doing a few things. Of course, hunting and scouting and finding all the little things we need to do to take out these Sith.
I'm going to ask him, speaking of, if he has an idea of maybe the next course of steps that we'll be taking in our journey to get there.
No, not right now. He's like, I'm just doing my job. Keeping my eye out, trying to find things. What about you?
Nothing. Training. Preparing.
What about that? And he points down to the fighter pilot.
Oh, is he below the building?
Well, if you look, the building is right. The main building is right near the port area. So he notices the fighter pilot sitting down there, and he kind of points at him. He goes, "What about that?"
So what about that? He's my friend. He's hanging out there. I'm going to, I don't really think there's anything for me to say about that guy. Honestly, I probably haven't seen Malika or the Gone for a while. She'll probably be tidying up with her fighting and probably setting inside soon. See what they're doing.
He's all right. We'll keep an eye out because I'm sure something's going to happen pretty soon. Because we got plenty of things going on. Also, keep an eye out for our little Twi'lek friend. She's a little crazy.
I'm going to take heed to that.
That she is.
And he kind of just leaps off the edge of the building.
We got a surplus of crazy going on there.
Just a few crazy people.
I mean, she's a little crazy, but he's a little crazy. And I mean, I'm wholly unsurprised that these are Turk's friends. Because he was a little crazy too.
Turk was not crazy. Turk just
when I built the ship, I sort of envisioned what Turk would have added to the ship.
No problem. I had a chance to look at it. I'll look at it later on, and we'll go over it and see if there's anything outrageous on it. I'll probably post those up under the Facebook page so people can see the ships and stuff. And Jackie, if you want to post the pictures that you draw up on the More Than Dice, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, really? I have quite a few. I might have to sort through them.
Make a folder up and stuff, and I don't have a problem with that. Let me know. That way you can have your cool stuff up. Okay. A little time goes by, probably a couple hours or so. Y'all are done searching. Frizz, everything's done with your training, as I quote training. But it's pretty solid. You've got what you need done. It's kind of pretty busy around here. People moving snacks around. It's getting kind of late. You can definitely tell because people are starting to move away from the pad and they're starting to go inside. Frizz, you smell that it is almost time to eat dinner before you notice it. As you can tell that the droid is also cooking up a good meal.
Droid's becoming my new best friend.
So other than that, you're more than welcome to go eat.
We already know I am.
Yeah. So you go down. I'm guessing Gan and Mel are gonna eventually make their way to food.
Gan probably walk in, pick up his can of food, and then walk somewhere else.
Okay. You pretty much have the entire crew, the entire group of people standing there, milling around. A couple people started sitting around outside in the sitting area is what we called it, or your area that you were doing maps and stuff. And everybody's just idle chit-chatting. Nothing crazy, nothing big. Just a lot of having fun, chilling out. Camaraderie.
The sort of setback with gathering supplies from last time has Mel back in the books. She's still reading through a bunch of Turk's notes, and she's brought them to dinner. Hasn't really looked up to make eye contact with anybody, just reading her books, kind of going over the notes, making a new sort of revised shopping list that she's going to use to like maybe track some stuff down in the field if the opportunity presents itself.
Okay.
She takes a few minutes to make sure that the food that she's gathered is not made out of something that was once alive, and then she goes off to quietly eat and read by herself.
Okay. If you want, if you're looking for whatever you're looking for specifically, write that down, send it to me in a message. That way I can get a look at it, and I can, if you're looking for a cross hilt, or stuff to make a cross hilt, just give me a list. That way I can look at it and I can kind of plan for it instead of just saying, hey, random, it shows up.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's all pretty ad hoc. So if you want to just make it up, you can. It's the things necessary to make some battle armor.
Okay.
Approximately the resource equivalent of those things.
Okay. Or just give me a list of what you're looking for or what you're going to be doing.
Sure.
That way I can kind of put it in there and hold it with it.
It's much more abstract than that. It just is like 1250 rarity for items. So,
okay.
Like to make combat armor. That's all.
So you don't die as quickly.
Yeah, it's very like you can make up whatever it is. It's very ad hoc. So
Okay.
I can pick it up, but it's probably easier if you make it up. Like as much as looking for anything that would kind of fit that bill, whether it's some kind of precious metal that could be refined in a particular way, or an alloy, or maybe even like some kind of, I don't know, material to make an extremely durable type of plastic.
Okay.
She'll make wooden armor if she needs to, just something that fits that bill.
Wooden armor.
Wooden armor does not protect you much against a blaster.
Depends on the kind of wood. Like this is a wide galaxy. Just saying.
Okay. Nothing really goes crazy what's going on, what's happening here. There's just simple chit chat. Couple people kind of like, make idle conversations, but nothing stands out as, we need to discuss what's going on. Other than that, the night pretty much winds down to nothing. And you see people start going off in their different directions to sleep for the night. So, if there's anything you need to do, let me know. No, keep on going.
Mel's going to take the time again. She's been reading the books, going over any kind of Jedi notes, making her own list of things she might find useful. Seeing if she can use that as a source of inspiration for like the kind of armor or armaments the Jedi went when they went to true war, which obviously hasn't happened for some time. And then if anything strikes her as a direction that Turk would have wanted them to go while she's going over her notes here, she may move that need up. It's been kind of backburnered for a while they've been working on the rebel quests.
Correct. Not much, as y'all have been kind of busy because you're fighting a rebellion.
So far.
So, all right. Everybody pretty much heads off. Everybody starts heading to bed. While you're asleep, you hear an alarm going off. A large, whooping alarm going off within your facility. And it is extremely loud. What are you going to do?
This is the first time we've heard that alarm, right?
No, this is the first time you've heard this alarm.
Okay.
Gand is going to move from his room on the ship to a turret. Probably the top turret.
Okay. You move to the top turret, and you can see some flashing lights going off, and people are running into the main building. Into the main building.
Mel's gonna poke her head at her window. Is there anything up in the sky? Like, first, most immediate danger is, are we just being invaded?
No. No ships, no battles, no blaster, nothing like that.
All right. Well, with that off the menu, she's gonna grab her lightsaber and the book she's reading and rush toward the sort of command center.
Okay.
Where Sarge is up.
Yeah, your designated meeting type thing. Okay. Frizz.
Ditto that.
Okay.
She jumps out of her bed, grabs her lightsaber, and just runs towards wherever the commotion would be, probably wherever everyone's going.
Okay. Gand?
A7, do we need... I'll contact A7 on comms.
Uh-huh.
Do we need to fire up the ship?
No. Just get to the meeting room.
10-4. And Gand then exits the ship.
Okay. You get there pretty much as everybody's gathered around, and there's already holographic images coming up of a planet and other ships that are around flying. Of course, Lottie and Sarge are standing pretty much right in the center. Sarge is looking around and he's like, all right, everybody's here. Let's get started. Guys, we have a possible chance of rescuing a few Jedis. We have just received communication. We need to make 100%. So what we need to do is we need to send a few people off to this planet, contact the people we have there, and if the information is good, we need to go onto this planet and rescue the few that we have. The problem is, as you can see, there are a couple of Sith ships flying around it. So it's not going to be...
Do we have any way to get it undetected?
We can try some old codes, but I don't think that's going to work. I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to fly around from the other side of the planet and come in and fly low the whole way. This planet has a small civilization on it that is a bunch of civilians, but most of it, especially the up above it, is patrolled nothing but by Sith. But there is one small establishment that we think where our contact is and where we think we might be able to head to. And then from there we can go from that location.
Well, if there's chance of rescuing Jedi, I'm in. I'm happy to take the ground portion of the mission.
Well, we're going to have... I totally forgot his name still. I went to look it up again. Our fighter pilot.
Oh. the guy who coined the snack pack.
Yeah.
Chad.
Chad.
He's clearly a Chad.
He's truly a Chad. Is going to provide some protection and a diversion because we think that he might be able to get, he's one of the few people that could go in and get out and provide some good distraction, per se.
He's certainly been an ace pilot in the encounters we've had so far.
And he looks over at you and he kind of tips his hat and gives that little nod like, yep, I am.
Mel has a moment where kind of things are really academic and intellectual and everyone's kind of understanding each other and she's speaking in her purely rational way. And then his demeanor changes to sort of flirty for a second and she just kind of backs right off and feels uncomfortable. Did not sign up for that. Uncharted territory.
Other than that, I think that's pretty much what we're going to have to do. We're going to have Chad provide a diversion. We're going to do a drop of troops from a very high altitude into where we need to be, and then you will have to go in. Contact the individual, get the information. If the information is good, rescue who we have there.
Frisbee, she's gonna start jumping up and down with her hand sticking out of the crowd of people and go, I interject. Make her way towards the front. Do you know what kind of condition these captives are being held in?
No.
No idea?
No. We have no idea,
like
nothing.
last time.
All we know is that one of our contacts says that they believe that there is a few Jedi captured with on this base, and they've sent a proper distress signal. So we're expecting y'all to jump in.
Do some breaking and entering.
Pretty much. What we're going to do is we're going to provide you three with a set of suits that'll let you jump in. And then y'all do your deeds. Dottie will be near y'all, but not within the area. She'll be a relay comm out a distance away. So whenever it's time to go or if we need to go, we can do it. So Sarge looks at all three of you and goes, pack your shit. It's time to go.
Why is it always us?
Ganon slides his vibro knuckles over his fingers.
Okay. You slide it over. Pretty much everybody else is starting to get ready. A7's already started lighting up the ship, getting a few other things. You notice that A7 and Dottie are going to be on your transport. You see Chad lighting up his. And everybody else is staying back.
Is Dottie the same person as Lottie?
Lottie, I should say. I'm sorry. Yes, Lottie, not Dottie. Lottie.
I was like, is that the big droid?
No.
Droid's name is.
Droid's name is. I haven't figured out Droid's name yet. No, Dottie. Lottie,
Okay.
excuse me. And she's waiting on the ship with you. She's actually in the co-pilot seat with A7 when y'all get on.
Kitchen droid is clearly B8-Q.
He says Q. Other than that, ships start lighting up, and A7 and Lottie are like, all right, we got about 9 hours to go. Whenever we get there, be ready, because it's time.
All right.
Y'all get up, hit hyperspace, and go. While you're in there, Lottie is like, here is suit 1, 2, and 3. Here is the jetpack on 1, 2, and 3. Here is how you use jetpack so you don't die when you land.
Bill's gonna pay very close attention.
She gives you a rundown of an orbital suit that's going to help you get down to the surface undetected. There's not much to it. It's pretty much just a jetpack, a helmet, and a suit that you would wear over your normal clothes.
That's piloting planetary, right? To use a jetpack?
She actually teaches you how to do it and gives you over that when you get to this altitude, you hit this button. You go below that altitude and you don't hit that button, there's a chance you might die. So please don't do that. Other than that, they tell you that this village that you're going to doesn't have much to it. There is no starport. There is no nothing. So I would definitely dress a little incognito. I know you can't help certain things, but definitely...
It's not easy being blue.
Yeah.
It's not easy being a giant insect.
Yeah. Just don't be stupid is what she's saying. Don't go flashing sabers. Kind of disguise yourself as much as you can.
On principle, I try not to use my saber unless we need to.
Okay. Other than that, like I said, it takes roughly about 8 to 9 hours to get there. You pull off and you hear Chad. He's like, all right, give me just a little bit, and I definitely will give you a diversion to you get down on the planet and drop these kiddos off.
If he's talking over the comms, is it fair to describe it as chatter?
No. About 30 or 40 minutes later, you hear the comm come over, and it's like, all right, when you hear the sign, you know to go. And you look off and you see his ship just kind of fly off and everything. And you notice that off in the distance, you start seeing small bits of explosions in the air, in space. And Lottie's like, here we go. And all of a sudden, the ship just kind of pitches down 90 degrees and just starts heading down to the surface as quickly as possible. Gets kind of still in the upper atmosphere. And as soon as it gets close, you can hear the hangar, the gangplank open up. And A7's like, go, get out.
Before A7 has even started that, as soon as it was open, Gan just kind of quietly walks out of the ship.
Okay. You walk out and you are up in the upper atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of AKA a Halo type jump.
Yep.
Anybody hesitant to do it? Anybody not going to do it?
I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make sure I know which button I'm supposed to hit.
You got a big old button that's taped up. Punch here.
Mel's hesitant, but she's going to mentally review the instruction and then go for it.
Okay. You launch out of it. It's pretty much the same thing. You pretty much are falling straight down. You can actually kind of hear the explosions off in the distance as y'all are headed down to the planet. And as soon as y'all are all out, the immediate your transport, I don't even know what y'all named it yet, flies off in a very quick.
Anyone's actually named the transport.
No, I don't think any of y'all named the transports or any of your ships for the fact. And then y'all fall. It does actually seem like it's taking a lot longer than you think, mostly because you're not used to this. But it's actually not very long before you actually hit the altitude that you need to. And you can feel your suit kind of fill up with air, and then the packs that you're wearing start trying to slow your descent. The descent goes down. Not a huge, not a jerking descent, but definitely slower than... It's not slowing down as quickly as you thought it would. It's actually pushing up a bit against you and is going pretty slow. About halfway through the final part, the jetpack's cut off. You drop really, really fast, and then they cut back on with a huge force to get you to land within the forested area that was your chosen target. You go through the branches, and all of a sudden, you know, you're assaulted by branches that's coming down, but nothing that's out of the ordinary. And you are now officially on the planet.
Wow. Well, Mel dusts herself off, takes a moment to sort of mentally collect herself. Should we stash these suits somewhere nearby? I think they might look a little conspicuous if we wander into town wearing them.
Frisbee is going to take off her helmet and start dry heaving. Oh, my Lord. Yes, we just have to make sure that we return to the location we want to with these. Maybe not ditch them right away.
Okay. We'll wait till we get close to the town that we're connecting with and stash them just outside town.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're roughly probably about a good 4 to 5 miles away from where you're supposed to go in.
Mel's gonna take her time and take the suit off.
Okay.
But she'll carry it there for the time being.
Okay.
Gand is currently pondering whether or not he is currently wearing 2 environment suits.
Pretty much you are.
Sort of a hat on a hat thing?
Yeah, exactly.
You're...
Gand takes off the outermost environment suit.
That's the space one.
Yeah, space one. Even though technically I could survive the vacuum in the other one.
Oh my goodness. You're suit stacking.
Yeah.
You do that. Lottie comes over and says, "Okay, guys, you need to find this whatever, I can't remember the real name of the hammerhead.
Mm-hmm.
A hammerhead. I can't remember their real name. Trandoshians or whatever.
Tholian.
Oh yeah, there it is. He will be wearing a red jacket, black boots, and blue type pants. Should be somewhere within the town center. You need to give him the phrase that you are looking for a protocol droid to help you with your moisture farming. And see what he says. If he comes back with the correct phrase, blah, 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 that's your man. And they give you a phrase that you're supposed to say and a phrase that he's supposed to say back, and you're good to go.
Is it a hard phrase to remember?
No, it's something simple and easy.
Okay.
That's the reason why it was a joke about a protocol droid for moisture farming.
All right. Well, Mel's not going to waste the time they've been given. She's going to start heading on their 5-mile trek.
Yeah.
I think that since you two blend in better, that I will hang back and follow you so it doesn't look like we're all walking into this.
That's very true. The 3 of us as a group are probably pretty recognizable at this point.
You do remember there were wanted posters of y'all.
And you two can blend in a lot more easily than I can.
Because we're girls.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking because you're more humanoid.
No, that too.
A 6'2" blue person with red eyes. But yeah, no, that's good. It blends in. I blend in really well in cold environments where there's snow and blue.
You pretty much go through the 5-mile trek. There's not a big deal. Nothing out of the ordinary. No wild, crazy fauna or flora that just attacks and kills you and eats you. So other than that, you get into town, and it is very, very small. Very few vehicles that you notice as it's coming up. You can see that there's a lot of basic equipment. Very, very farmer village type. They think there's probably maybe a couple of 100 people in this place. So it's definitely not very busy. If you stand out, you're going to be seen.
They're all humanoid, I assume.
They're all humans except for one or two, but a very, very, very heavy humanoid population. And human population, I should say, not just humanoid.
So not especially cosmopolitan. A
Yeah.
chest might stick out.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
take your hood down.
Yeah, Mel's gonna. She has the robes, so she's gonna pull the hood up on the robes,
Okay.
and she's gonna make just kind of pull the sleeves over her hands a little bit and make herself look a little bit less like anything at all.
Okay.
Hunch over. She tends to wear kind of baggy, nondescript clothing anyway, so she's just emphasizing the baggy, nondescript element of that.
Even more. Okay. You get a couple of stares looking at y'all as y'all walk around, but nothing that's out of the ordinary. They know that you're not from here. You can tell this is a small town type atmosphere. Other than that, you can make to the town center, no problem.
How big of a town is this?
Do what?
How big of a town is this?
Like I said, maybe for a couple of hundred people.
Okay.
So not very big at all.
What is the surroundings of the town?
It's all forest.
All forest?
Yep.
And would like to climb a tree.
Okay. You can go climb a tree. So are not going to go in town?
I'm not going to go in town because of the fact that even though I blend in with every other Gand, and he actively tries to do that, it's very hard to cover up the environment suit
Correct.
with anything other than robes. So he doesn't really have a lot he can do to make him look different.
Okay.
So his thought was, I'll hang out in a tree and watch them through.
Through your scope.
Yep.
Okay. You're more than welcome. You can find one that's not a problem to go in.
Okay. Athletics check.
No, not a big deal. This is pretty heavy wooded. I'm not gonna worry about it too much.
Okay.
You just take your time and you can get it. Not worth going crazy.
Then that
with
is
it.
what I'm going to be doing while they're doing this.
Okay. All right. Tim and Jackie.
Well, Mel's definitely taking a sort of backseat to the actual human in the group. So she's going to say, do the talking. I'll make notes. And if anything emergent comes up, I'll say something. But
Okay.
trying to find our contact and see if their information is legit. You've got the reins, Fritz. It's your moment to shine.
Finally.
Mel's confidence is changing by the minute.
Not mine. Mine's the... So, Frisbiz, she takes a deep breath in, make sure she makes herself look bigger than she is.
Frizz
And
business
she
time.
starts strutting right through there, you know. They're at the center of the town, but what's going on there? Is there like a courthouse or?
There's just a large, like a fountain area. There's no water coming in, but definitely you can tell it's like a social center. Benches. There's a couple of kiosks of, people set up different things to eat and different things to sell. It's about mid-afternoon, so, I mean, it's kind of busy, but not hugely.
Did we get any intel on the way our guy looks or
Yes.
approximate location?
Somewhere around this area, what was it?
Thorian.
Anthorian, with a red jacket, blue pants, black boots.
Yeah.
And then the code phrase.
Well, he should be easy to see in the crowd if he's really close.
He's actually going to be really easy to see, period, because they're a very large race. Very distinct head. So it's not like you can go and kind of just disappear with it.
Are they the ones that go me
No.
me when they talk?
No. They're more a
not that-
grunt. They're more a
They,
grunt. They're the hammerhead ones.
Oh, they're not the cute ones.
They
No.
talk like a.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun.
I should know that.
And,
I drew one of those.
They have two sets of lungs, so they can like emit a creepy bellowing thing that is actually kind of dangerous. So they actively are like holding themselves back when they're talking to humanoids who don't have the same sensitivities as they do.
Let's go to jail.
At least that's what I thought.
Give me a second.
At least that's what it was like back in the EU.
There
Don't
you
know
go.
what canon is right now.
There you
What's
go.
that? Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, also they're like plant caretakers and nurturers that believe in like restoring ecosystems. They're basically shark hippies.
So he's going to be easy to spot. So.
I need to add shark hippie to their Wikipedia tonight. If it could be edited. Well, good. Does Frisbee spot him?
You do see an individual that does match that description. He stands out like a sore thumb.
Well, she does too. She's just gonna walk confidently right on over to him.
All right.
So you're gonna be hidden in plain sight. Just gonna signal to Malika to stand back a little bit, just to keep our distance. Gone to wherever he went. She doesn't know.
She's more than happy to keep some distance from this exchange. Distance and anxiety are the watchwords.
Good. She could be anxious for the two of us. So Frisbee goes up to this dude over here that she assumes is male.
They did call it as a male.
Do I know my phrase?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the moisture farmer thing?
Yeah, it's just whatever. It was a joke about protocol droids and moisture farmers.
Our moisture farm.
What's the difference between a protocol droid and a moisture farm?
No. That you're looking for a protocol droid for your moisture farm. That harkens back to A New Hope when they say they don't need a protocol droid because they're doing moisture farming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what Frisbee is going to say. She's going to say, I don't need a particle droid for moisture farming.
He comes back with the correct phrase and then says to follow me.
Right. She's going to make sure Hood's pretty up high and her hands are covered and whatnot, and she's going to skulk behind him.
Okay. You walk off. Gain, you going to stay there? Mel, you going to follow?
Yeah, having been given the go-ahead, Mel's going to kind of glance around to make sure no one else is following.
Okay.
And she's going to follow as well.
All right. You follow off, and he takes you back into looks like what would kind of be his house. Opens the door to this domicile and walks in and beckons you to come in also.
Frizz walks on into his hut there.
Okay.
She immediately looks around to make sure there's nothing threatening nearby.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary. Nothing kind of stands out. Nothing pushes your eye around everywhere.
Okay.
And it's a small little hut. It's just one room type building. Dirt floor. A bed big enough for him. A little place to eat. So there's not much to this place. So he takes a seat and beckons and looks at you two to come on in, close the door, and tells you to hurry up.
Well, she does the thing. She has no problem taking a seat.
Okay. Mel?
Mel's going to follow along as well.
Okay.
Take a seat. She's making no secret to the contact that she's there, and obviously part of the team. But she is kind of being careful about not making her presence too obvious to anybody who might be watching or listening from outside.
Okay. You really don't notice anything out of the ordinary. I mean, you did get a couple of glances your way as you were going, but nothing that maybe you peek up. Nothing that set off any alarms. He says,
we've set up enough alarms for one session.
He looks at you and is like, you got my payment?
I thought our presence was the payment.
I'm about to give you information that either A, is going to get me killed, or B, cause a lot of problems here on our planet.
Yeah, and we have your payment, but the Twilight has it. She said that you guys already discussed and that this was taken care of, or at least will be afterwards.
I need my payment taken care of before I give you any information.
Okay. Over comms.
Yes?
Did you turn on your comms so that I can hear what's going on?
Yeah. I'll turn on my comm and just sort of tilted outward so it's easy for him to hear what's being said.
You can hear everything that's being said. No problem. You gonna do something particular?
I haven't heard anything that's going on currently. You guys were still talking. I haven't heard any of the things that he has currently just said to her.
Okay. You're not getting the information until I'm paid.
What payment was arranged?
We discussed credits. The contact was supposed to bring me credits so I could get off this planet.
We could provide you escort off the planet.
No. Escort's not good enough. I'm going to need something to live off of when I'm out of here.
Now, do you think that ask him if the information needs to be acted on today, or if the information can be acted on tomorrow?
Mel's aware the distraction might be kind of time sensitive, so she doesn't love the nature of the question, but she relays it. How time sensitive is this intel?
Well, you saw the ships that are up there right now. They're here to probably take a few or destroy a few or do whatever they need to do. They're not here for their health.
Okay. We can offer you escort off the planet and credits once we're off, assuming the information checks out. That's the best I can do.
You need to speak to Lottie, and you need to get me my credits, because you're not getting it until I get my credits.
Ask the Athorian if you'd be willing to discuss this in the woods.
It's not suspicious at all.
I was going to say.
That sounds like murder.
Gan's trying to Gan knows that this is the kind of thing that he would actually be able to do if he could make it into town.
I just want to point out that Frisbee just starts laughing for no reason at the table.
Mel kind of like steals herself for a moment, and she says, "Listen, I don't want to play hardball here, but we want to get our people off this planet, and you can't take blood from a stone. Obviously, we have the credits, and we can give them to you. They're with Lottie. She's not with us right now, and not in a position to assist. We can offer you escort. We can help you off the planet. We can give you the money. But we
as soon as you talk to Lottie and you get me my credits, I'll give you the information." And he says, "You're free to leave now."
How do we know this information checks out? Give us some kind of assurance that we can bring back to her.
Gand is physically in pain listening to them negotiate.
It's not a thing I'm good at.
Frisbee starts to frantically check her pockets in case maybe she actually was supposed to bring the credits. She doesn't remember hearing about this part.
He like reaches over to this container, opens it up, and pulls out a lightsaber, drops it down. That enough for you?
Mel's instantly curious, and she wants to like
picks it up, put it away.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk and see what we can do. She starts to lead the way out of the door, giving her hood up and features covered again.
Before Frizz leaves, she's going to try to see if she can open up a communication with Lonnie. Is she available or not at all?
No, yeah, she's definitely available. You can click a button and you've got her right at your ear.
I'm going to whisper into the comm, do you have the credits? Way too loud, but trying to make sure no one else hears it.
Okay, yeah. She's like, yeah? Does he want his credits now?
Yes. I mean, yes, he does.
He's like, all right. What proof is he giving us that he's got some inclination of what he's doing?
She's going to think about how to word it. She's going to say, she has something special that only a Jedi would.
Mel, what has he got?
Of course. He's got a lightsaber. He's got a lightsaber. It looks mad legit.
Mel's like at any moment ready to interject, but she's like restraining herself.
We'll just give him the credits. Transfer the credits over to him.
Okay, just walk me through it. She's gonna look over at Malikia. Do you have any of the credits? Check your pockets.
She's like, use your device, transfer the credits to him, and you'll be done.
Is this something that would feel
Oh.
straightforward to Mel?
Yes,
Like,
yes,
is that intuitive?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
You didn't know that you didn't. The thing is, you didn't know you had to pay.
Right. So now that we've got authorization from Wadi and we've kind of run things by her,
Mm-hmm.
Mel's going to step back into the room and she's going to say, all right, we're ready to make the transfer.
Wait.
Yes.
And is going to climb down from the tree because he's been able to follow where they went. And he is going to try and stealth through the town with his hood up, arms inside his cloak very tightly closed around to cover up everything.
Okay.
And he's going to try and quietly go to the house where they are at.
Okay. You go. Let's see if you can stealth your way through. you start making it.
Success.
Yeah. You hear a couple of kids go, "What's that? What's that?"
I ignore them as I just press onward. And then I knock quietly on the door.
Okay. Y'all hear a
I'm
knock at the door. He's like, "Who'd you bring? What is this?"
This is probably our ally. He's a little conspicuous. Let me just make sure things are okay. Mel walks over to the door and opens it. A
Okay.
hair.
All right.
Yes.
You see.
And is looking at her from under his... You see a cloaked individual where it's like just a huddle of cloaks?
Mel opens the door and beckons him in.
When we're inside, Gam lowers the hood. We aren't giving you any payment until we can verify that the lightsaber is real.
The Gand makes a good point.
He pulls it out, lights it up, cuts his table in half, puts it away. Done?
You know,
impressed by that.
this might be racist, but I'd heard your people were less violent than this. Very well. We'll transfer the credits over. Mel takes out her credit chip and moves as if to interface with his eyebrow raise.
Okay.
She transfers the agreed upon amount.
All right. And he goes, all right. He reaches down, pulls out this little disc and goes, all the information you need is right here. Where they're at, how many people, what's going on, what's needed.
We'd like the lightsaber as well.
That wasn't agreed upon.
It's only going to be a conspicuous travel object for you, and I'm sure you don't want to leave it behind.
Okay, what kind of negotiation check do I need to make to try and convince him to part with the lightsaber?
He's not parting with a lightsaber. He's like, I'm not giving y'all a lightsaber. I can sell this for a lot more money than what you can give me. And I can also turn it into the Sith for a good bounty in case something happens.
We could anonymously let the Sith know that you were assisting Jedi escape off planet.
And then you would lose your Jedi friends.
I think we're at a bit of an impasse here where we need to trust each other. I think that trust would go a long way if you relinquish that lightsaber.
No.
Well,
Streetwise,
Okay.
how much money do I think he could possibly get for a lightsaber in the on the black market?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah. More than what you have.
More than our payment.
More than your payment.
Mm. That's not the lightsaber I'm looking for anyway.
Nope, that's not there.
Every lightsaber looks like that lightsaber for a second.
So, you can get out now.
Well, Frizz is going to take that disc and put it on her person. Say, yeah, thanks for lunch, and leave.
Okay.
What
She's
is
gonna
the
try to get some
shortest
distance.
direction to the forest from here?
Do what?
The shortest direction to the forest from his house.
Pretty much the same way you came.
Okay.
Fritz, do you think you go back into that room later tonight and take that lightsaber?
Well, we already are breaking and entering. Do you think he'll be here tonight?
I don't know, but I think I don't like leaving it in his hands, and I don't like rescuing Jedi and leaving them unarmed.
I feel that we could take it from him, but the only option would be to murder him.
Well, I guess I like that less than rescuing Jedi unarmed. All right, let's proceed. These are dark times when even the closest thing we have to allies on this planet are more interested in profiteering from this war than they are of helping people. Very well. Let's see
I'm
what kind
sorry,
of information
every
I'm
once in a while, it has to come down to the greatest force of all in the galaxy.
Force?
Yea, mighty credit.
Oh, that force.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I never have any.
We don't have enough yea mighty credits to buy that lightsaber. I couldn't convince him of anything we have to trade. Unless you want to trade him a starship.
Do we have one of those?
We don't want to trade him a starship.
Yeah, that doesn't seem
Even
very
then, I
good.
think that might be a difficult trade. my whole career up till meeting you guys was convincing people to let go of their objects so that I wouldn't have to kill them for them.
I think what we need to do is move on from this uncomfortable situation as quickly as possible. What have we got on this disc? Let's see if we can queue it up.
Let's head back out to the woods first. You guys leave town first, then I follow later. We'll meet up in the woods, similar to where we would have stashed the cloaks, the EV suits. I have a tent in my pack. We'll set up the tent. We'll cover it with brush. And once we're in the tent, we'll see what's on the disc.
Agreed.
Getting a lot of static. Are we all right?
I think so.
Okay.
Sorry. That was an agreement, a consent. I'll defer to the person who knows anything about skullduggery when it comes to bought and paid for intelligence.
Yeah, I want to see what's on the disc.
Okay. You find you turn it on and it's a schematic of a location probably about 7 or 8 miles roughly from y'all. It actually looks very similar to the base that y'all went to and rescued some other Jedis. Very, very similar.
Thinking back to the construction of the first base we went to, are these is this base like a new installation? Is it possible this is like a template the Sith could have installed in multiple places, or have these been used for a while?
Possible. I mean, there is no guarantee, but there is possible.
Okay, that's a reasonable working theory at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell that this isn't. You recognize this setup completely, 100%.
Okay. Any other reasonable intelligence on this? I mean, obviously, this gives us a sense of the place and where it is. Any details about like watches or the amount of support it might have?
Roughly, probably about 13 to 17 people, he thinks, just
Okay.
by quick observations and writing stuff down. There doesn't seem to be a lot of traffic going in. Like, very rarely do things go in or out. Same for watchtowers, etc., etc.
Does the disc suggest in any manner an appropriate time that is best to go to this place, like at dawn or dusk? Or...
No. Not at all.
I think 2:30 in the morning.
Very, very specific.
Yeah, I suppose we should go before dawn.
Use the darkness as cover. The other idea is that we pretend that you guys are my prisoners and that I'm turning you guys in for money.
I feel like that gets us in the door, but not much further.
Again, make a perception check, because I think you forgot about something.
While you're doing that,
Yeah.
Now you remember.
No. He was thinking he knew that would fail at that point, but that at least gets them past the towers. He's still trying to get in touch with Lottie to find a forger because all of his contacts died.
Yeah, so I guess that wouldn't work. You're not much of a bounty hunter right now legally.
Okay. If that's the case, then I mean, we could go in guns blazing. I mean, that worked to middling success the first time.
That might draw your not-so-friendly friends.
Yeah, which I'm still a little terrified of.
I'm concerned that this whole thing has been set up to draw you guys into a trap by your not-so-friendly friends.
The wanted posters have your name on them, too. I think at this point, they're drawing all of us in.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about that until you said something.
I think they're way more interested in the Jedi than one guy with a rifle.
I'm not sure that this has been very obvious, and thank you if it hasn't. But I'm not much of a Jedi. I'm not even
more sensitive, and they're way more concerned about that.
I think they're colonial in their ambitions. I think they're concerned about hearts and minds and conquering people. And I think anyone who's a member of a resistance movement is an enemy of the Sith. And I for one, am terrified that this is the potential outcome, that we could be walking right into a trap. I still think we have to do it. I don't think we have any choice but to make an effort to save the Jedi. I think they're the hope that's going to bring this galaxy back together. Unless you're ready to live under the Sith. Well, yeah. He was not a great Jedi. Although, he has brought with him a galvanizing force for the Resistance. Does the intelligence we received give any indication of like a second entrance to this facility?
No. You've got the main entrance where, the gate opens up, and then you've got, a fence line. But other than that, that's it. No underground way. No secondary way. That's about it.
Well, it looks like the least supervised part. I mean, like, it's fence line reality?
Yeah. You think that maybe coming through the back side of the building, maybe your best bet, because the building is very close to the edge of the fence line. That would be your best bet. Your closest. It's not the greatest.
Okay. So, at this point, I think we head to the facility, wait for night, and then, as stealthily as possible, move through the back line and go in the back way through the facility. I think if we're lucky, we keep an eye on what the watch is like. We catch someone who's distracted or whose attention isn't fully on their duties, and we can sneak in relatively unmolested. And if that doesn't work, we encounter hopefully minimal resistance. That's the best I've got, folks. I think if you've got any other suggestions, I'm more than open to them.
No, I think it's a good idea.
You hear a squawk come over your comms. Well, did you get the information?
Yeah, we've got the intelligence, but it looks like it's going to be a tough nut to crack. It's a facility not unlike the one that we encountered right before we ran into you again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's guarded, and the entrances don't look particularly promising.
So how are we going to get in?
Well, our working plan is to go in the back door and fight our way in if necessary.
There's a back door.
Well, there's a slightly less guarded back end of the facility. I mean, that's
I think Maloki is suggesting that we create a back door.
You got explosives to do that?
I have some of them left over, but they were on the ship.
We have our sabers with us. We could probably cut through it.
It's up to y'all.
yeah. I mean, at this point, we're cutting through with sabers, unless you've got a better plan or some more ideas. As I say, our options feel pretty limited. I wasn't sure what I was expecting, but it wasn't this.
It's up to y'all because I can't help you. We can't get close. We've
Okay.
already caused too much of an issue, and if we bring a ship that close, they'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we're gonna head on in.
Exit strategy for this mission.
I think punch our way in, punch our way out, minimize the amount of time we're in the facility for.
That wasn't what I meant. I meant
Off
what
planet.
is the exit plan for getting off planet?
Oh, the plan is you have a designated area that they have set aside for y'all to go to.
Okay.
Because by that time, we have to come down and just pick you up.
Okay. I
Right.
was
You
concerned
don't
about
want
this being a one-way trip.
to come down and try to rescue us because we basically get one shot at getting this close to the planet.
Mhm.
And once that has happened, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Well, I say let's do this. I say this is the punch and run approach. The most effective way to steal something is to just go in, grab it, and get out. If we don't give them time to put their defenses together or to mount an appropriate response, then maybe that gives us the chance we need to go in there and get our people.
Okay. And I guess that's what you're going to have to do.
Hey, I'll be right back. I got something in my eye.
I just noticed that. I was like, are you all right, Jackie?
I was about to ask if you were
I'm
okay.
gonna run.
All right, take a break. Everybody go pee real quick if you need to go pee. I see Jackie over there digging in her eyeball. I'm like, are you okay?
Uh-oh.
All right, so your plan is to go through the back side of the building. Are you going to go through the back side of the building or just through the back side of the fence? Because cutting through the wall would probably take a lot longer than you think it would be.
I think we're cutting through the back side of the fence
Okay.
and then just kind of as quickly as possible getting around to the front of the building.
Okay.
Just trying to avoid the towers and the patrols.
Okay. Not a problem. We'll let Jackie take her break for a second and chill out. So, how did you get assassinated while we were doing this?
Were
you playing Animag? Or not Animag, Grandma?
No, I was playing Madrak into Slayers.
Slayer spam?
Mm-hmm. It's not actually a terrible matchup, but you have to alpha really hard. And I had 9 Fenblades go in on a Slayer. Dice off 6. 9 Fenblades on a Slayer, dice off 6 should do like
Enough.
a cool 38 damage. So I was expecting to redirect some attacks into a second Slayer. And instead I left the first Slayer alive on 14 boxes.
Oh my gosh.
They needed 7s to hit, but they were Work Rides, they only needed 5s. And they were guided handed, so they had 3 dice needing 5s. So they all hit, they just rolled trash for damage. And I ended up having a turn where I went down to very, very low camp, maybe even a 0 camp, basically just trying to push really, really hard into like getting as much work done in a turn as possible to kind of come back from that moment. Because I was going to lose the attrition if I didn't. And I had a pretty decent comeback turn, and I got to be in a position where I was like, there's a lot of things you have to do to assassinate me here. Try to assassinate me. Odds are it succeeds, but if it fails, I win the game. And
yeah.
that was the out that I had. And he went for it, and it worked. So it was all good. It worked on, I think, the last Hellfire, though. The last one he had available.
You good,
I
Jackie?
want to wait 1 second. You guys start talking about War Machine.
I was prompted.
I did prompt because I want to know what happened.
Yeah.
I haven't had a
That's a
chance
good
to chat with Tim lately about Vor Machine stuff, so.
Yeah, we got to talk about our dolls.
Yep. Our man dollies.
I'm on a
Little
disc
metal men.
called Executive War Dolls,
Yep.
where we talk
Nice.
about miniatures.
That's pretty awesome. And whenever I go to America, when you're crossing the border, they'll ask like what you're going to do, and I say we're going to a doll convention, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "It's okay, they're war dolls," and they're just like, "Carry on, please."
And then they see your carry-on bag.
Oh my god, never tell anyone they're hollow. Just never do it.
That's good to keep in mind. I did not know that. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm putting my contact on your stream.
It's okay.
I'm probably grossing out half of your viewers.
Wait, does
Nobody
that
cares.
gross people out? Just a contact lens?
Anything grosses anybody out nowadays, Tim. You know better than that.
It's true, they're also triggered.
They probably have to pay extra for it. Like,
Someone's gonna think that you guys beat me up or something.
whoa.
That's really hard to do via like the internet.
The interwebs, digital
Oh.
punching. No, usually let us know when you're ready,
You can't
Jackie.
see you're the worst. I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Y'all said y'all gonna wait till night and do it sometime after like what 2 a.m.
Well, we've got a bit of a hike to get there, right?
Correct. It's about a 7 hour. It's about a 7 mile hike.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, what time do we get there? Like, is that midday or?
It depends. I mean, are y'all gonna chill out until then?
No, I think we're heading pretty directly to there. And once we're there, Mel and Gand, or I guess all of us, are going to take some time to like surveil the watch sequence and see what their guard rotation looks like and make an informed decision.
Okay.
I second that, yes.
Okay. You make it there roughly, I would say about, give or take, probably about 7 or 8 at night, give or take how you travel.
Okay. Well, then I think it makes sense to take the 4 or 5 hours to really surveil their rotations. Mel, of course, being a chiss, can see perfectly in the dark, so she's gonna, kind of quietly message over the comms to Gand and to Fritz what's going on, like tell them about the movements of the guards, get a really good sense for them, stay kind of behind the tree line so that they're not making themselves obvious, but really do their preparation work.
While we've been walking there, Gand has been picking up sticks and leaves and small pieces of brush and stuff, and putting them all over his robe.
Okay. Prepping your ghillie suit.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Y'all get there, and like I says, it's dark by the time you get there. It's not pitch black because there are lights around the area. Search lights flashing off around, stuff like that. I mean, you've seen this before, so it's not anything big. Other than that, just let me know when and how or what you're gonna do, because you've got the reign of the area until you figure out what you want to do. You do not see any patrols going in or out, though. That's immediate.
The towers look occupied. I'm assuming there's 2 towers in this structure as well.
Yes.
And they're occupied, yeah. Okay.
Correct.
I don't think Frizz has a blaster on her.
Mel actually does have a blaster on her. She doesn't like to use it, though. Is it 2 towers or 4?
4, one on each corner.
Okay. I mean, we could get real aggressive and try to take out the guards in the towers, but that feels a little on the dodgy side. Okay. Well, I mean, Mel's going to make a note of what they see in terms of patrols. And the people we can identify in the towers, does it look like 1 per tower, 2 per tower?
1 per tower.
Is there any kind of rotation that occurs?
Nope. Not right now.
Nope, I can't tell if there's any pattern to how the lights are passing across the. Nope.
That's smart.
Yeah.
It worked. Well, I could try to make a distraction in the woods and maybe draw out the guards. It worked before. I don't have flamethrower equipment on me, but I'm sure I can improvise something.
What happens when a lightsaber touches wood?
It cuts through it. We don't tend to ignite wood because the burning temperature is too high. Like the lightsabers come in too quickly. It almost melts wood.
Fascinating.
Well, kind of. Also kind of problematic. Okay, options here. What about like just trying to sneak to the front door? Try to avoid the tower. Is there any kind of coverage or brush or anything like that?
Yeah, there's a decent amount of brush. There's very little open space between the fence and the woods, like maybe about 15 feet of that. You can tell that this is pretty new on the setup.
Okay. And then between the fenced area and the actual entrance to the compound, how quickly could we cross that space?
Oh, it's only maybe like 6 feet.
Okay. I think we're going to try the stealth approach. Gan, do you have any stealth expertise here that you could pass on?
Don't get seen.
If you guys insist.
Thanks, Gand.
Okay. Mel's gonna see if she can wait for a moment.
My modus operandi wasn't stealing stuff. It was convincing people to part with their stuff, their hostages, etc., so that I didn't have to kill them.
Well, I've found the Sith to be remarkably poor negotiating partners.
Exactly. So it tends to be we have to kill them.
Okay.
Part with their hostages, prisoners, etc.
I think we're gonna try to sneak. Mel is going to take her time and like look at the route, the place they're going,
Mm-hmm.
and she's gonna let Fritz. You're probably the best at sneaking of the group, right?
Probably, I would assume.
Okay.
The best at everything.
She'll let the people who are the best at sneaking go first, so as to alert the guards' attention for the smallest amount of time. I think that means Mel goes last.
Okay.
How many dice of agility do you have?
I have 2.
I also have 2 and no ranks in stealth.
Okay. I guess I can go first then.
I have 2 in agility.
We're all really bad at sneaking.
I was waiting for this. I'm like, nobody.
I thought murder hobos was the way you're supposed to play.
I mean, I'm just afraid there's a lot of them. I mean, we may have to murder hobo our way out.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, stealth can turn into murder hobo pretty quickly. All right, the other option is if we want to just spend a few rounds aiming and all fire blaster pistols at the guards at the same time.
We can
Each
try the
pick a
stealth.
tower,
I
try
have
to
a
shot.
blaster rifle.
Buoy for you. Great, you get 2 towers to take out. Fritz, why don't you and I try to each take out one of the guards in one of the towers, and Gand, you try to cover the other 2. If we can take them all out quickly and near simultaneously, then maybe we won't alert anyone to our presence and we can just walk right in.
That might be more. They have better armor than we do. Even with my weapon, called headshot, even wouldn't stop them from notifying. I think the only way we have is to sneak.
All right, very well. Mel's brave and stupid. She'll go first.
I was just checking to see what the difficulty would be to shoot medium range with a weapon and having heavy cover. It's not good.
Gan could already have said that those shots were bad shots because the blaster rifle gives you the range to shoot them, but they're still in heavy cover.
Correct.
All right. Standard difficulty sneaking attempts? Then?
Yes.
Okay.
2 purples for standard. Because I'm sure you're going to wait till like lights are not moving over that area that you want to go. Common sense plays a factor in that. So yes. So how are you? I'm going to ask you this before you even move up there. How are you going to get through the fence?
I'm going to try to go to the fence.
You're going to what?
Over the fence?
You know, if you try to go over, you're probably going to get stuck because there is a bunch of, deterrents up there.
Equivalent. Mel has wire cutters.
Are you
could use
sure?
those to make a small hole?
Do you have your wire cutters on you?
Well, I have my mechanic toolkit, which includes wire cutters. See, that was.
Uh-oh. Sounds like a Ray crush. Oh.
It's in my military belt pouch. Oh.
Skype is messing up.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, well, let's see if Tim comes back. Right on the good part, too.
That's an adventure.
Can you hear us, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, I can hear you fine. I just don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you. We can't see you. There you go. You're coming back. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. You... I'll let you do that because you typically carry your mechanic kit with you. So, okay. All right. Go ahead for it, Mel. Let's see what happens.
All right. So Mel's going to move over there. If she feels like she hasn't been noticed, quietly cut a small entrance and then try to cross over to the entrance to the actual facility.
Well, you're going to crawl over there. After you crawl over there, then you'll have to sneak around the other side. But you move over there and you go and you start digging for your toolkit and you don't find your cutter.
That is concerning. Okay. She'll try to sneak back, I guess.
Okay. Try to sneak back.
Oh dear, it's even worse this time. Ooh, better.
Better. You get back. You can see that they're sitting there right there looking at you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. I was certain I had it. I thought I even checked for it, but it's clearly not here. I don't know if I dropped it in the woods or something, or left it on the ship. Maybe it was the jumping out of a plane, but I'm missing my wire cutter. I mean, obviously, a lightsaber will cut through that fence and immediately draw everyone's attention. I think that's a bad idea.
Frizz, check your pockets.
Frizz checks her pockets because it sounds like something she might have.
You do actually find a pair of cutters in your pockets.
First, Frizz inspects the cutters to see if she didn't steal Malikia's, because she does have sticky fingers.
You notice that they are her cutters.
They are hers?
Yes.
Yeah, that happens a lot. She's compulsive. Frizz is going to say, you know what? I think I have something in my pocket. Let me go see if there's a hole or something. And Frizz is going to, she'd rather risk her life than expose her vices, and she's going to attempt to sneak over to the same location of the fence and cut her own hole.
Mel is so naive and trusting. She's just like, it's so good that Frizz was prepared. That's her immediate reaction.
Frizz is really good at trench crawling, so she's just gonna zip over there, laying down as low as she could. What did you roll for sneaking? Just
agility and 2 purple dice.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty.
This is like the trench all over again.
Okay. You get over there and you start working at it. And you're like, you get over there real quietly and stuff. And you cut through it real quick and you get to the other side and all of a sudden you're like, come on, let's go. Really loud.
She's so excited. So after she really obnoxiously signals to them to come over, she's gonna peek her head out. What does she see when she inspects the area? It's obviously really dark, so she has limited vision. But does she see anybody looking at her?
Give me a second. What the heck was that? I don't know why that opened up.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, I got it right, yeah.
You do that. I don't know why this all opened up like this. Give me a second, maybe.
It's funny because it made all of our computer screens lighter, and now we can all see each other much better now.
Oh, I see what it did.
Got some backlighting.
Yeah. Because I hit enter, and so it put it in a full screen. Is what it was. All right, you sit there and you say that, and all of a sudden you hear this voice come off from one of the towers on the left. What was that?
Frizz is really good at making animal sounds. There are birds that are local to this area, I'm sure. So she's going to try to throw her voice and make a very subtle hooloo, hooloo.
Yeah, so that's going to be a, I'm going to say that's a coercion.
Coercion. All right, let's look that up here quick.
Oh, that's a fun one. That's a neat application of coercion.
Yeah.
I dig it. That's it's willpower based. And
she's very good at coercing people. She's debating on using a force die.
flip that over.
We only have one.
We do only have. I feel like I use every one. Doesn't matter how many we have. You said 2 purple?
2 purple.
Okay.
You do. You sit there and you make the noise, and all of a sudden the spotlight moves away from you and looks around somewhere else. But when you do that, you look over and you can see your friends, everybody else is looking at down. They're like, holy shit, we're gonna die. They got that look like we're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right, Gant. I guess cover me.
Gan sets up in some of the shrubbery, which is back 15 feet,
Mm-hmm.
and tries to be very, very still with his rifle to cover Malokia.
All right, Mel's gonna go up to the gate as sneakily as she did the previous times, for better or for worse, and she's gonna see if she can cross over.
Okay. Sneak over. Okay. You sneak over there, and you're up to the fence, and you try to get through, and she's only cut it for half the size needed for you. That was a negative.
Mel is
You're like really low to the ground right now, trying to get in.
she's like 6 feet away from Fritz, right?
Yeah.
Like she's just gonna kind of like tug it a little bit and like indicate pretty clearly, like, please hand me the cutters or toss them my way. And as soon as she has them, she's gonna try to open up the hole a little bit wider.
Okay.
I'm going to whisper to her very quietly. Here, you can keep them.
You get them, and instantly you notice that they're your cutters.
They've got like a worn grip that she's used like 100 times
Yeah.
before. They're like immediately familiar. Mel is gonna triage that one for later as less important than the current events, and she's gonna clip the rest of the opening open with comfort and familiarity of using one's own tools.
Yes.
And then she's gonna
Yeah.
slip through.
You can slip through, no problem after that.
As soon as she's through, she gets over to the building where she's got a little bit more cover from the towers, and then she's going to glance up at them using her night vision and see if she can spot like the infrared signature of a guard or if anyone's watching.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary.
Okay. She's going to like cover her mouth and voice so that nothing is super obvious, and over the encrypted comms she's going to just say, all right, Gand, it's your turn.
Okay. Gand is going to attempt this by slinging the strap on his blaster.
Okay.
But it's at his side, under his cloak. And since he's been sitting there putting brush and everything, he's going to try and keep the cloak over top of him and belly crawl his way over to the hole in the fence.
Okay. Go for it.
Yep.
Standard Gan.
Yep.
You start crawling and everything, and all of a sudden you try to go through the fence and you're stuck on the fence. You're like, it's still not big enough for you to fit through with all the stuff on your body. And you see the searchlight coming back towards your area.
I am going to try and very quickly go back for the bush.
Okay.
And
You crawl back to the bush, and you get back in there.
All right. Mel's gonna wait for the searchlight to pass, and she's gonna radio over to Gand that she'll see what she can do. As soon as there's a moment, and the searchlight's passed, and it's kind of the last place they're looking, she's gonna walk back over and she's gonna cut the hole really wide and really open and really clear, while still trying to keep it not spectacularly obvious to a searchlight.
Okay.
And she's gonna make sure that there's enough room for Gand to get through really unambiguously, and then she's gonna sort of sneak back to their cover.
Okay. You can do it, no problem. You can pretty reach out from the building and do it.
Okay. As soon as that's taken care of, she radios back over to Gand and says, I think it should be safe this time. Give it another try.
While she's been doing that, Gand has been taking various more pokey things off of his ghillie suit robe that he has
Okay.
made during the day.
All right.
Better.
But not good enough. You climb over there, and you're able to get through, but you're not 100% sure if you've been seen or not.
Okay. Operating under the assumption that they haven't been seen, Mel's going to kind of gather the group together, and we're going to round the building.
Okay.
Again, staying pretty close to flush against it, trying to keep ourselves under cover. We're going to get up to the entrance and deal with what we can.
All right. You get through, no problem.
Is there like a computer terminal to unlock the door?
Oh,
or...
yeah. Standard.
Okay. Well, this is my moment. Computers, I can sneak past. Mel's going to head up to the computer and see if she can hack her way in.
Frizz is silently cheering her on.
You get in. It pops open, no problem. And it looks exactly the same as before.
Like exactly the same, or like the same design?
Exactly the same.
All right. Well, Mel knows how this works, so she's going to rush into the room as quickly as possible, take a quick surveillance of it, and if there's anyone there, the plan changes. But if there isn't, she's going to head over to the central computer terminal.
Okay. You pretty much come in, you go to the right door, and cool checks.
Cool checks.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Or just the...
Oh, man.
Could be worse. We're focusing on learning opportunities this session. Growth as a person. Character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all come in and y'all are obviously we're expecting something, and you notice two guys sitting at one of the terminals right now, and the door opens up and they go to start shooting. So we can do an initiative check and don't have to worry about anything. Just go with the vigilance now because it's all ready.
Vigilance. That is similar to cool for me. Not bad, but also not.
Roll again.
Yeah. Random number generation. Don't you love it?
And then
You know, this is out of the game, but that is so true because if you use the Google Dice app, it never rolls good. Ever.
does it not?
Oh, it's terrible.
I mean, I've played enough dice games to know that I also just never roll good in person, so.
I roll better with real
Whatever.
dice.
Yes. Oh, so true.
All right. Y'all have first initiative, then I, and then you two, due to the failure that y'all had gotten.
Okay. So what did we see in this room? What
You see two armed individuals with blasters pointed at you, standing behind the same. It's an exact copy of what y'all saw last time.
Okay. Are they at a computer terminal? Like, are they about to sound an alarm or be able to?
Yes, they're both at the computer terminal.
But if they're firing blasters at us, that's a two-handed weapon.
Okay. I mean that gives us something. Okay. Well, I think. Okay. I think Mel's just gonna charge in and try to like lightsaber the first one down really quickly. Just try to end the combat before it has begun, so to speak.
Go for it.
Okay.
Rolled at him. Well, shit.
Some things happen. So she's going to do 12 damage to him, and she's going to give her two allies. Sorry, she's going to give Fritz an advantage by sort of knocking him off his balance a little bit, and she's going to give both of them disadvantage on their blaster attacks by kind of jumping in and sort of, unless he's dead. Is he good still, or
No, he's dead. I can
Okay.
just tell by just the base damage.
in that case, she's going to give advantage to both of her allies and disadvantage to that gentleman there.
Okay.
The remaining one, who's kind of maybe a little shaken off his feet by the killing blow.
Okay.
Sort of sudden, decisive attack.
So a red disadvantage is it?
No, it's just a black die.
Just a black die? Okay. Making
Yeah.
sure. All right. Because he's going to go, and he's going to shoot you. Being super startled, he switches his gun around, flips a die for a bonus.
Wait,
Wrong
bonus
one.
is the other.
Wrong one. Flips it over for a bonus to balance out because he hates these nasty Jedis.
Good call.
That guy who died was his best friend.
Yeah.
Nasty.
You killed Fritz. Name that movie.
What? Killed Fritz?
Who killed? You killed Fritz. He shoots, and when it does,
What is
it
this
shoots
ball?
off next to him and hits some other panel and starts frying.
Did the security cameras behind them still work?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. First, immediately looks over there, make sure they're still functioning. I guess that ends his turn.
Yeah, one of you two.
I'm gonna go ahead and say by the Gans roll that it's Frizz's turn next.
Don't forget, Frizz, you have an advantage.
She does have an advantage, and she's gonna get down into a super squat, which is her signature move, squat rocket. She's been working on it all day, and on top of the Jedi Tower there that we're staying at.
Nice.
So she crouches down super low and then flies in the air, trying to swoop down on him to hit him in the head there with her lightsaber.
Okay.
This is a lightsaber roll, and I'm pretty good at those.
Yeah, both of y'all are really good. And he's fucking dead too. Yeah, there's
Work
no
your fingertips
need.
a little bit there.
You swing in, you jump up over the console, come down, and just kind of like go right through half of his body. Land with a twist. Lightsaber kind of spurs off the ground and sparks up. And then you stand up and like you put your lightsaber up and kind of like gunslingered it into your into the clip and stand up.
She is extremely satisfied after that. It is becoming easier and easier to kill people every day for the good of the universe.
A Sith in the making.
Gand walks in calmly because they've taken care of all the people who could shoot him.
Pretty much.
Mel is like seeing the zeal with which Fritz just killed that person, and has got a kind of we'll deal with this later expression on her face, and she walks over to the computers to see if they can determine anything, if they're in functioning order, if I can get a sense of like a prisoner manifest or anything like that, even like the recordings from the cells that we saw in the previous.
You don't notice anything in the ordinary. You can start clicking around. Give me a computer check.
Oh yeah, computers all the way. Let's. There's not a lot of
He's
formal
going to
training.
study their map that they have. See if there's a better way into these rooms besides breaking the glass.
Okay. You find it, and a door opens up to the left-hand side of you.
Like
Easier than last time.
as a result of the computer work
Yeah.
I've been doing.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, here's the door.
good. Awesome.
And you open up the
All right.
door.
We head through that door.
All right, all three of you.
Mel's going first, lightsaber at the ready. If anyone attacks someone wielding a lightsaber, then we've got tacit permission to kill them.
Hold
I'm
on a
second.
second.
Gand will take up the rear, following by sort of back to back with the rest of the group with the blaster.
Before Frizz leaves the room, she takes the blaster off the guy's body, assuming still in his hand.
All
If
right.
it's not been.
Give me 1 second. Someone messaged me real quick.
So about 8 p.m. my time, I feed a bunch of outdoor cats, and
Are they all sitting
Feral
there?
they're all. I'm right at my window. There's a window right behind me, and they're all just staring at me.
Okay. Sorry, I had to answer that real quick. Okay, you go in. It's the same floor plan as the other one. Exact same floor plan. You go to your right and open up the first one, and nothing's in there. Keep looking. Go to the next one. Nothing in
Go
there.
to the next one.
Nothing in there.
Frisbee is having a flashback, seeing these familiar hallways. She recalls seeing a large droid. Was that at the Jedi one?
It was in the center one that was kind of behind the two-way mirror type thing that y'all were talking about. That was right behind it.
So she starts keeping an eye out for one of those.
But that's pretty much right behind. Y'all haven't gotten to that area yet. Keep looking?
Yeah, we're gonna keep looking.
Okay. All right, you keep on moving. You move to another one. Tell me whenever you want to go to the one. If you're going to do anything different. Otherwise, I'm going to go through the rooms just going around. You come to it. Next one you find is empty. The one next to that is empty. And then you're coming to the one that's behind the aka two-way mirrored type one. You open it up, and you see a body laying on the table.
Mel's gonna immediately go over to the body and see if it's alive or dead.
You move over there and make a cool check. If anybody else is going there, make a cool check.
Is
Yeah,
this
he's standing outside guarding the hallway because he can't help injured people.
question?
Frizz?
Is this
I'm
fear
definitely in
based?
there.
It is fear-based.
Excellent. I get to make use of my confidence. Fear. Still not as confident as I might have anticipated. Fritz is fine though.
Yeah.
Fuck.
She's like, I got this. You're
I'll
not
see
shocked by this, Frizz, but you go over there and you move the body because it's kind of facing away from you, and you pull it back, and this face is real mangled up on the left-hand side. You can see burn marks all through the arms. Like on the left side of the body is like really been tortured up. Like some fingers are missing on the left hand. Pit marks. Face has been burnt up. When you pull it over, you recognize the face, Frizz. Immediately you recognize it. Mel, you're kind of in shock and taken back as all of a sudden the eyes open up and it's like, you little shits, why'd you take this long to find me? And you notice that it's Turk.
Oh.
And that's where we're going to hold it right now because it is 8 o'clock and I'm going to hold it right there because I want to hold the suspense on this for the next episode. Because this is where it's going to get interesting. If you're watching on Twitch, we'll be back next Wednesday. Or if you're on Facebook watching us, we'll be back next Wednesday on this. If you don't know who Turk is, watch our first few episodes. And you can find out who he is and why this is an important part of the story. Other than that...
2 Wednesdays from now.
Or what?
Yeah, we know who Turk is.
Yeah, they know who Turk is. But if you don't, watch the first 2 episodes. Or just ask. Look us up on Facebook, like us, follow us, etc., etc. I'm going to shut it all down, and then we'll talk.